A private lunar lander carrying a drill, vacuum and other experiments for NASA touched down on the Moon Sunday, the latest in a string of companies looking to kickstart business on Earth's celestial neighbor ahead of astronaut missions. Firefly Aerospace's Blue Ghost lander descended from lunar orbit on autopilot, aiming for the slopes of an ancient volcanic dome in an impact basin on the Moon's northeastern edge of the near side. Confirmation of successful touchdown came from the company's mission control outside Austin, Texas, following the action some 225,000 miles, 360,000 kilometers, away. "You all stuck the landing. We're on the Moon," Firefly's Will Coogan, chief engineer for the lander, reported. An upright and stable landing makes Firefly, a startup founded a decade ago, the first private outfit to put a spacecraft on the Moon without crashing or falling over. Even countries have faltered, with only 5 claiming success: Russia, the US, China, India and Japan. A half hour after landing, Blue Ghost started to send back pictures from the surface, the first one a selfie somewhat obscured by the sun's glare. The second shot included the home planet, a blue dot glimmering in the blackness of space. 2 other companies' landers are hot on Blue Ghost's heels, with the next one expected to join it on the Moon later this week. Blue Ghost, named after a rare U.S. species of fireflies, had its size and shape going for it. The squat 4-legged lander stands 6'6", 2 meters, tall and 11 feet, 3.5 meters, wide, providing extra stability, according to the company. Launched in mid-January from Florida, the lander carried 10 experiments to the Moon for NASA. The space agency paid $101 million for the delivery, plus $44 million for the science and tech on board. It's the 3rd mission under NASA's Commercial Lunar Delivery Program, intended to ignite a lunar economy of competing private businesses while scouting around before astronauts show up later this decade. Firefly's Ray Allensworth said the lander skipped over hazards including boulders to land safely. Allensworth said the team continued to analyze the data to figure out the lander's exact position, but all indications suggest it landed within the 328-foot, 100-meter, target zone in Mare Crisium. The demos should get 2 weeks of run time, before lunar daytime ends and the lander shuts down. It carried a vacuum to suck up Moon dirt for analysis and a drill to measure temperature as deep as 10 feet, 3 meters, below the surface. Also on board, a device for eliminating abrasive lunar dust, a scourge for NASA's long-ago Apollo moonwalkers, who got it caked all over their spacesuits and equipment. On its way to the Moon, Blue Ghost beamed back exquisite pictures of the home planet. The lander continued to stun once in orbit around the Moon, with detailed shots of the Moon's gray pockmarked surface. At the same time, an onboard receiver tracked and acquired signals from the U.S. GPS and European Galileo constellations, an encouraging step forward in navigation for future explorers. The landing set the stage for a fresh crush of visitors angling for a piece of lunar business. Another lander, a tall and skinny 15-footer, 4 meters tall, built and operated by Houston-based Intuitive Machines, is due to land on the Moon Thursday. It's aiming for the bottom of the Moon, just 100 miles, 160 kilometers, from the South Pole. That's closer to the pole than the company got last year with its first lander, which broke a leg and tipped over. Despite the tumble, Intuitive Machines' lander put the U.S. back on the Moon for the first time since NASA astronauts closed out the Apollo program in 1972.